On July 11, 2017, Theresa May, British Prime Minister, called the Infected Blood Inquiry. Woo! Ha-ha! How are you? Let the music play. Well, welcome to my party. Welcome to the dance floor. Woohoo! I better get myself a beer. Now, let me just have full disclosure here. My name's Charles Mackenzie, and I'm the president of Infected Blood Australia. I'm here in Sydney in New South Wales, and I'm in lockdown. It's my 49th birthday. I'm saying hello to people that turned up. Thank you so much. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you, Lillian Cruikshank. Thank you. Thank you so much. G'day, Bruce. G'day, Bruce in Scotland. What an honour. Hey, Bruce. I got some Irn-Bru. I got you something to drink at this party. Everyone's going to get something. Yeah, well, you know when they do those live videos where I've been watching a few of them lately and people eat their lunch and so on, and you wait for them to do something. Well, hopefully I won't do too much of that, but I'm going to do a bit of partying. What I'm going to do also is say hello to a few more people. Thank you very much, Cherie. And yeah, forgive me if I can't read very well because I haven't got the best eyesight. Also, should I be cloaked? I'm on my own here. Let me give you a view of the party. It's a bit dimly lit. I think I look better in the dark, and I also think less public health officials get to, get a good look at my face. But there's the party here, and I've got a couple of familiar faces. There's Theresa May, bless her. She's the one that called the inquiry, under pressure no doubt, but she did. The Infected Blood Inquiry. And so, what does that have to do with Australia's Health Minister, Greg Hunt? Well, as some of you might know, I said that, I feel like if there's one thing I want to do on my 49th birthday, none of us know exactly how long we're going to have on this earth, right? So I thought to myself, what would be the one thing I'd regret if I didn't do? And I thought, you know what? It'd be knock that man right out. I don't mean physically. I'm a pacifist. He'd wipe the floor a bit anyway. He looks like he could be a bit nifty in an evil kind of Frank Spencer way. But what I mean is that knock him out with the evidence. Greg Hunt is covering up Australia's deadliest medical scandal. He really is. We've got brilliant people watching tonight. Thank you so much. They've come from the UK. They're not here in person. Everything's virtual today, isn't it? Bruce, in Scotland, guess what, mate? I'm not allowed to have anyone to my birthday party. Now, before I cry, I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because there's people right now, friends of mine, who, they didn't get to see their elderly relatives. And people have passed away and there's difficulties and all sorts of stuff. So, I'll get on with it. And anyway, when it comes to isolation, let me tell you something. I'm a bit of an old hand. That's right. I had bone marrow failure when I was a kid. Okay. And it was the same disease that the boy in the bubble had. So it was called I was nicknamed the boy in the bubble by some people. And so as a result, what they did was they put me in isolation. I wasn't able to get a bone marrow transplant. We were hoping to get one, but couldn't do it. So I lived on blood products, right? And that's how I came to know about some people who had a bleeding disorder called haemophilia. Okay? Now, you might not have heard of this bleeding disorder, but let me tell you, there's some fantastic people tonight who've come to my birthday party and all to see Greg Hunt get knocked out, Australia's Health Minister, not physically, remember, metaphorically speaking. And I'm also having a beer too. And let me just, while we've got some overseas visitors here, could I offer you a beer? Here's a well-known Australian one, VB. That's right, before Dan Andrews was the most famous thing out of Victoria, I'd say that was too. I grew up watching those VB ads. I'm not sure that was a good thing, but yeah, I did. But anyway, I used to drink that when I wasn't so concerned for my health, but tonight I'm having this lovely drop here. So, what are we going to do tonight? Well, I thought I'd play a little bit of music, and then what I thought I'd do is get straight down to business, and yeah, I'd take on Greg Hunt. And if it's not far away, what I promised to do is I also said I'd have a gift. It is my birthday, I'm 49, And guess what? I'm going to give Greg Hunt a birthday present on my birthday. Okay? Yeah, you bet I am. And hopefully it'll prove rather costly. I don't mean costly in any other way other than it might wake the man up. It might wake somebody up that they do something about Australia's deadliest medical scandal, contaminated blood, and they stop trying to pull the wool over our eyes with these QR codes. And, 30 people had a cold 2 suburbs away. We're sending the army. Did you know they're covering up thousands of infections? Okay, hepatitis C is a deadly virus if left unchecked, and for many people it was. They used to hand out the most toxic treatments too. And they've also caused our group enormous problems. I'm the president of Infected Blood Australia. It represents people, victims of this contaminated blood scandal that our nation's health minister, Greg Hunt, completely denies. Do you know, recently we had a mass email day where we all wrote into Greg Hunt pleading for help. This incredible inquiry, this infected blood inquiry, the largest in British history, that's happening in the UK right now. It's ongoing. The participants are here tonight. They're with us tonight. They know this is true. They know that contaminated blood happened here in Australia. They know it. And we talk all the time, and Greg Hunt's like, no, nothing to see. He won't even reply to victims. We've got parents who lost kids. He doesn't even reply. He has staff. And do you know what he says? He says that Australia had the safest blood supply in the world. Well, the guys overseas involved in this inquiry know that's not true. They know that Australia didn't. And how do they know it? Because the architect of Australia's system was pretty much the UK. And theirs wasn't safe. So if theirs wasn't safe, how was Greg Hunt safe? Oh, and by the way, that's pretty funny. Hey, that's a nice effect. We've had a technical issue just there. Hello. What we doing? Look at that. Just like that. We'll have to get some other music as well, but this is just in the intro as we move towards the big moment. And the big moment is, all right, so let's build up to this fight and take on Greg Hunt. And then I'm going to have a party. I'm going to have a party for the 4th anniversary of this inquiry, July 11th, 2017. What a day. What a day. There it is. I'm sharing it. It's a joint party. So you can see there's a 49 there. That's my part. And there's a 4 there. And that's the 4th anniversary for the Infected Blood Inquiry. And actually, I might tell you how that came about. How it came about that I had my birthday. I was born on that day. That's how it happened. But actually, there's an interesting story there. And it's been in the news. Joanne McCarthy was a very famous, and is alive, but now retired, investigative journalist in Australia. For lawyers and people involved with the Infected Blood Inquiry, for your interest, Joanne McCarthy was the journalist that essentially exposed the failures of institutions to respond to the child sex abuse scandal. And it led to a Royal Commission. So Joanne was helping look at the tainted blood issue in Australia. Thousands of Australians have been infected with hepatitis C and others with HIV as a result of contaminated blood in the decades before the 2000s. We've had 1,400 haemophiliacs lose their lives as a result of contaminated blood products. Many of them through treatment they didn't even need to survive. What an outrage. And hopefully they're here tonight. So basically Joanne was helping look at these stories, and she could see the correlation, the way that institutions had totally failed to respond, the way that they covered up, the way that they'd not done the right thing, and the way that really people had died through a lack of response, through absolute suffering and misery, poverty, you name it. It affected absolutely every aspect of your life. I've often said it was like a smart bomb, absolute smart bomb that you never heard about, no one ever told you about, and it will go off gradually, year after year after year. For some people, of course, it went off very rapidly. We've lost hundreds of people from this group. I've known many people who died from contaminated blood. So anyway, it's a strange juxtaposition, isn't it? Me talking, whoops, we've got all dark. Me talking about this sort of subject matter while having disco music in the background. I just want to make clear, in no way do I want to make light of this terrible event. Not ever. God, no. In fact, my way of surviving it is to try and have a laugh where you can get one. A bit like having a smoko. I don't smoke. And so, yeah, not tobacco anyway, but yeah. Get a laugh when you can have one, get a smoker when you have one, when you're at war. And this is what contaminated blood has been like for decades. It's been like being at war. And Joanne McCarthy, she was talking to me on this day, July 11, 2017. This is the day that the infected blood inquiry was called. And I didn't even know. But I knew that campaigners over there were fighting. They've been fighting for decades. They've had campaigners over there, die fighting. It's an incredible story. I'm convinced they'll make a number of movies about what they did in the UK, right? So I knew they're fighting. We're talking at the time. And Joanne McCarthy brings me up and she goes, guess what? I go, what's that? And she goes, Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, has ordered the UK's legal inquiry into the infected blood scandal. It was incredible. This is a thing that I've been fighting. We've been hoping for, that someone in the UK anywhere would go further and take this before a judge. And we knew that if that would happen, it would blow the whole thing up. Australia too, the cover-up. The whole cover-up. Australia, UK, the whole thing's interconnected, right? So anyway, she tells me, and she goes, what's your response? I said, what's my response? It's the birthday present of a lifetime. And I didn't expect her to print that. I thought we were talking off the record type thing, because otherwise I'd be, oh, well, my response is that blah, blah, blah. But I said, man, that's a birthday present of a lifetime. And she actually put that in the story. So that story is out there on the internet, right? But I just want to say one thing. I actually made a mistake. It's probably the only mistake I've ever done as a campaigner. I said that we had more victims in the UK. We don't. We still don't know exactly how many victims we have. The government's still covering it up. There's no official list. We know it's thousands and thousands. There's information. It could be tens of thousands. And where did hepatitis C come from? Bruce Norval. He's an expert witness, or a core participant, as they say, to this incredible infected blood inquiry in the UK. And he just gave evidence. Look it up on YouTube. And in fact, we'll be posting it on Infected Blood Australia YouTube channel, right? And his evidence is so important for us in Australia because it's asking the question, how did these viruses explode? Where did they come from? Okay, how did? Hundreds of thousands of Australians end up with Hep C. We know that 1,750 Australians with haemophilia got Hep C. We know that 1,400 of them were killed through treatment that many of them didn't even need. We know that possibly 20,000, if not more, people got it from blood transfusions in the years before the 2000s. I mean, right from after the Second World War, people are getting infected and the authorities did nothing about it. All they did was call me a liar. We had a Senate inquiry that I lobbied so hard to get, and so did everyone else who was originally with our group, the ones that survived. Guess what happened? The Senate inquiry found against helping us. The UK, they helped their victims, they acknowledged them, they gave their financial assistance, they didn't give it to families, that was a terrible thing, but they acknowledged the victims at least. Not good enough, but a start. But over here, when we tried to do the same, they said no. They said that everything had happened with best science advice. Okay, that's what they said. And so, we were turned down, we got no help. And if you don't mind, I'll just have a sip of my beer. And we'll get to the crunch time where I'm going to very soon open the present for Greg Hunt. And for those of you people who've come specifically for that, I'm going to do the right thing by you. I sure will. I'm going to deal with Greg Hunt tonight. I hope he's watching. I hope he watches the recording. And I hope the baddies are watching. Because it's our time now. You've done the wrong thing. You've done the wrong thing by victims. We've had hundreds of people die in our group. And it's time that I open Greg Hunt's present. But just bear with me one moment, because on the poster you'll see I'm wearing a slightly different attire. It is my birthday, but I still need to look the part. Bear with me one moment. Is that more like it? I'll take this stupid mask off, that's for sure. That's a casualty. Actually, get away. All right, here we go. I'll take a Greg Hunt on, that's it. I've had enough. Let's do this. On the poster, taking on Greg Hunt, I'm wearing a to the Boxers Road, but I didn't want to appear to be violent because I'm pacifist. And it's actually a dressing gown. Just to show you that I don't normally wear a dressing gown, there's actually a label. It was a prop bought some time ahead. But here I am on my own in lockdown. Not allowed to have people here. Not going to complain because a lot of people have been through the misery. But what I will do is open Greg Hunt a present without any further delay. And I'll thank you for being here with Charles Mackenzie, myself, President of Infected Blood Australia. For those of you that don't know, there are people watching tonight who are involved with the UK's largest ever legal inquiry into their worst ever treatment scandal, into their worst medical scandal, the worst scandal in peacetime in the UK, with thousands of people killed, tens of thousands of people infected with viruses like hepatitis C. And can everyone hear me all right? Okay. Hey, Matt. I've got 90 people here. I know. I won't keep you waiting. You know what? Now, after I open Greg Hunt's present, it's not a joke. I just want to explain something. This is a strange mix tonight. It's a mix of my birthday, and it's a mix of the celebration of the 4th anniversary of the announcement of this infected blood inquiry in the UK. And you might be thinking, well, you know, what the hell's that got to do with Australia? Because they're interconnected. There's a cover-up going on right now. Right now. Greg Hunt's involved, our health minister. He's covering up the most deadly scandal. It's criminal, absolutely criminal what he's doing. And we had this inquiry in 2004. It was a Senate inquiry. You could never call it an inquiry. It was a couple of senators, couple of really lazy senators and possibly corrupt. And they basically looked at the contaminated blood scandal in Australia and they said, you know what? Everything was done with best science advice. Everything. And I said, no. They actually imported high-risk blood. Yeah, they did. They imported high-risk blood. CSL, the company that made blood products for people with the bleeding disorder haemophilia, they imported high-risk blood in the 80s. The exact same thing that the UK inquiry is principally about. It's about the importation of these American high-risk blood products. The same thing happened here. But the Senate said no, and I said, no, it is. I told everyone in the group, my mates who were still alive back then, I said, if we just explain that the same thing that happened in the UK happened here, we'll be through. People will get financial assistance, people will get help. So I went to this inquiry, I went under oath. I said, they imported this high-risk blood. They used high-risk donors knowingly. They used to use donors they knew who were infected. It's the truth. I provided that evidence. I also said there could be evidence that they imported high-risk American prison blood. Yeah, they dealt with the companies that dealt with this. And I said they should check that out. To the inquiry, you should have a full investigation. And the inquiry made its decision, and its decision was that it found against us. It accepted the under oath, the Red Cross and the government went under oath. They said at no time did we ever import anything. At no time did we do anything other than have the safest blood supply in the world. It was exemplary, and best science advice was used. And the Senate's determination was best science advice was used. So still to this day, people dying, mates of mine. If you don't mind, I'm going to take off the jacket now as we get into the ring, basically. It is a bit of a joke. It's a strange juxtaposition of serious and joke at the same time. But here we go. So I lived the life of a cloud over me of being a liar. Ever since that terrible Senate inquiry in 2004, and a whole bunch of mates die. And let me tell you, I have thought about it every single day since. If you don't mind, non-alcohol beer, I'll have one. And there's some party food over there behind us, which we'll have soon after I've finished this. But I tell you, anyone that knows me knows that every day since that 2004 inquiry where they said that we lied or I lied about the importation of high-risk blood or the use of infected blood donors, the knowing use of infected blood donors in Australia, infecting thousands of patients. The government basically said I lied. We lied, and that was it. And so every day since, it's just been misery for us as a group. As we've gone round in circles, there's no help. We're just cast off as liars, and they're cast off as best science advice. So, Greg Hunt, he says we don't need to have any inquiry here in Australia. Anyone looking in the Infected Blood Inquiry, you'll find this very interesting. Any lawyers around the world? Anyone in Canada who's watching? I know it's 6 a.m. or so there. I know in the UK it's about 11:30, and I know you're very pumped up because you've got the Three Lions, and you think that football's coming home, and I hope it is for you. I think you're really pumped. What a day. It's my birthday as well. It's just everything's happening all at the same time. And you know, thank you, Lillian. And you know what? If right now, 49, I'm so privileged and happy to be here at 49 because I really didn't think I'd make it. And actually, even though I'm very into health, you know, you can't always do everything. And there were lots of people who did everything in our group, and there was nothing, people simply died, okay? And it's just the case. There's nothing that could be done. Their lives have been ruined. We've lost our families. We've lost everything. So often with contaminated blood victims, people in the UK and in Australia, if there's something we share, it devastated our families. I mean, we've had our families wiped out. And so, you know, all we're told is that everything that happened was best science advice. This is what Greg Hunt tells us. So here you are, Greg Hunt. You denied help, your government says there's nothing to be done. We're to have no help. Everything was best science advice. Let's open your present live. Now, I hope this angle's okay. If it's not, please let me know. Sorry, again, I'm a child of the 1970s. And just having a sip of my birthday. Yeah, small entitlement. God, can you believe it? I'm unwrapping. All right. Here we go. Here we go. It was just an accident. I hope you're watching, Bruce, in Scotland, and you guys in the UK. You guys in Australia too. Here we go. Just an accident. Well. Right. Well, first of all, just before I declare the evidence here, I just want to say that I want to acknowledge the fact that there are victims all round with contaminated blood. I used to work in a gay gymnasium in the 1990s. I was very happy to do so. It was good money, and the people were very nice. Actually had some of the nicest people I ever met, my best friends as well. And I learned a lot, and actually I was taught some sales techniques and training by Sean Bridgman, who's a delightful man. And one of the most important people in my life, really, in terms of just how bright he was. So I know a fair amount about the gay community. And I know also that in the 1980s, I was aware about contaminated blood. If you go to infectedbloodaustralia.com, you'll see our latest newsletter, or our last one, I think it came out in May. And in that newsletter, you'll see about my story. Basically, I knew about contaminated blood in the 80s. I went to school with a little boy who had haemophilia. He ended up being persuaded to have a blood product for some bruising. He didn't even need it to survive, and it transmitted HIV to him, and it killed him. And I couldn't believe how the government wouldn't help him here. I thought it stunning. And that's why when I ended up having bone marrow failure, not long afterwards, I knew that I could be in trouble. And they said, you have to have this blood. And I had it, and I knew as soon as I could to get tested, even though they thought I was crackers. I knew. So, I've opened up this present just now for Greg Hunt, from Greg Hunt, and he says that everything's an accident. And let me tell you, let me just show you someone. On my research, compiling this present, I'm going to tell you something up front. I think he might be dead. I'm not sure. I did go looking on the internet. He might be a legend in the gay community, but he's also my hero. This name is Mr. John Westland. There he is. To anyone out there who knows anything about gay history, if you could please, in Australia, please contact me. I'd really like to hear from you because I've been reading up about Mr. John Westland. He was a spokesman for the AIDS Action Committee down in the Australian Capital Territory. And there's an actual story that we'll put a link to soon in the comments, and we'll share it. Forgive me if that was a slight, but there it was indigestion a little bit from drinking this birthday beer here. But here it is. The story is family team using fear tactics. And it's 1984, and it's about a very silly bunch of people some wacky types of characters who are saying that gay people should be sent to jail and all this sort of stuff for blood donation, as if there were gay people that would want to knowingly ever do anything reckless. That's basically what the suggestion is, right? And Mr. John Westland, this is what I really like about this guy, and why he's my hero is it's 1984, and 1984 was a climate. Let me tell you, I know a lot about this. 1984, the climate for anybody connected with HIV or AIDS, gay or otherwise, was particularly tough, challenging in Australia. It really was. Because you had people thinking all sorts of wacky, irrational things, and frankly, they should just get their mouths shut. They're fools, most of them, okay? But this John Westland points out that as these people are making out that gays are reckless and gays are somehow intentionally doing anything reckless, he points out, no, not at all. In this article, he points out that they were recruited to a vaccine antigen program by the Australian Red Cross. And that what they were doing was they were being very responsible. They were donating because they'd been recruited to donate hepatitis B serum. And this hepatitis B serum would be used by the Australian Red Cross to make a hepatitis B vaccine with the American pharmaceutical company Merck. Merck, Sharp and Dome. The largest pharmaceutical company in the world. Now, Merck, if you're watching or anyone, look, no offence, this is purely historical. I'm not here to cause any trouble. I'm here to talk about the need for Australian contaminated blood victims and haemophiliacs to be helped, given assistance, and the need for answers, the need for an inquiry. So have a look. So I couldn't believe it. This John Westland saying, well, the Red Cross, these ladies, these irresponsible people of these, these conservative people in the early 80s are saying, well, you should be going to jail for donating blood. And he's pointing out, no, we're recruited. Don't try and make us out as reckless. This John Westland. And rightly so. So he's pointing the way. Right? Someone had to have a cool head, and he did. So we went looking. Is this true that the Red Cross were specifically... Because they're basically... Because all this confusion in this tension of the period, the Red Cross, they're coming out and they're saying promiscuous gays should not donate blood. This is 1983. Promiscuous gays should not donate blood. Well, what's promiscuous from not promiscuous? What is promiscuous? One person's promiscuous from another. And also, it gave the community the idea that, gays are promiscuous. Well, other groups are not promiscuous. One group might be morally a bit different from another or some sort of rubbish, right? That was a terrible thing to do because it led to confusion and possible crimes, frankly, against the gay community, right? That wasn't right. And here we have this evidence. Look at this. I'm holding up a gay newspaper publication from 1982. Now, this publication, a year prior, had reported about a strange new disease that was afflicting gay men. That disease being HIV. Here it is. Here's a page. This is the thing there. Obviously, you won't be able to read it, but we will put this out to anyone who wants it. There it is. This is 1981. Article says outbreak of rare disease in the same newspaper, for goodness sake. Outbreak of rare disease. They're talking about HIV in gay men in America becoming sick. And so here we go looking and we find this gay newspaper that it's reported that they had, that you could find advertisements, Australian Red Cross CSL advertisements, blood collection advertisements appealing for blood donors in these gay newspapers. This is after they've warned of HIV in gay men, and this is a gay newspaper, so I'm going to open it live. Okay? I've never opened this copy before. I've opened another one before. For anyone interested in medical history, this is huge. This is absolutely huge. And anyone interested in an injustice, a major injustice, this is absolutely huge. Here we go. So now, and again, I'll be sharing all of this. Thank you for. Oh, no, we got music playing. That's party time later. I think it's a bit serious now. But so here's the cover. It looks like Bob Hawke, doesn't it? I hope you can see it. Can you see it? Okay. Be gentle. It's evidence. Well said. Well said. It's actually there wouldn't be too many of these left. But okay, let's turn the pages together. Let's go back to 1982. Remember that they've just published in this same newspaper previously about HIV, right? So why on earth would they be advertising for blood donors? Why on earth would they do that, right? So let's have a look. Let's go back to 1982, all right? Let's pretend I'm a gay man in 1982. I'd expect to find, what's happening? Where's good to eat? Where's a good disco, whatever? Where, as I said, I used to work at a gay gym, so I knew that they take care of themselves, okay? People take care of themselves. They're very fit. Very fit. Here we go. Is that okay? Is that too dark? Too far away? How are we doing? Okay, can you see that at all? I'm just passing through these pages. We okay? Okay, so as we go through, so various articles, right? Various articles in it. As you go, there you go, Leichhardt. That's not too far from where I am now. Leichhardt, Stiffy's Supper House. There's a dinner and dance. Now, in this previous editions of this, it's actually some of it's pretty hardcore, but others are not, But in terms of actual, this is just like if you're hetero, their version, just like if you read the Playboy, there's nothing worse in terms of anything, in terms of like, X-rated or anything. But, as you flick through, now look at where we are. Can you see this? Hard to see. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I'm showing you vital evidence at a birthday party. It's a bit inappropriate. But anyway, Greg Hunt. So this is Australia's safest blood supply in the world, and it was best science advice. But as I turn the pages, look what I see. My goodness. Here we go. I'll bring it up. My goodness me. I see this. There we have it. We see an advertisement in this Sydney Star gay publication 1982, and I'll be sharing it. More rep will share it, so everyone will be able to see it soon. You'll see it, right? Fix your light. Yeah, good point. It is actually my party. I will fix it. Just to explain, we're having multiple things here tonight, a birthday party, as well as this Greg Hunt present to prove what a liar this man is. Best science advice. Look at that. Look at that. There it is. Can you see that now? Be a sport, it says. Give blood. Mobile blood vans, the whole lot. But look at this. There, the advertisements above Triple K. The Triple K club in Kensington. Now, Ken's Karate Club's notorious. This is not notorious as an illegal venue for men at that time. It was infamous. They had like cop raids and all sorts, because back then homosexuality wasn't decriminalised at that time. So they used to say the only way it stayed open was because of its political connections, right? So this is like a men's type of sauna. It was like a men's sauna. Again, it's probably about, I don't know, 6 or 8 Ks from here or whatever, right? And here it is. There, right up, they've got blood donation ads. Now, my point's this. Okay, there's the Taxi Club. Anyone knows that? That was a famous place. Taxi Club, transvestite club. There's also a taxi bookstore, porn store, pawn shops, pornography, gay pornography. Okay? And you've got gay escorts as well here. Now my point in this evidence, we're going to share it. My point is, why would this newspaper, after it's reported about this HIV, and also, by the way, if you look at infectedbloodaustralia.com, if you look at infectedbloodaustralia.com, if you go to the evidence they didn't want you to see, or you look at the timeline, you'll see that the actual gay community, the editors of this newspaper, they wrote in desperation an open letter to the Premier of New South Wales in 1980 or 79, saying there's a hepatitis outbreak. What are you going to do about it? What will you do about it, right? And do you know what they did about it? They sent blood collection vans. No shit. The complete opposite of what you'd think. Greg Hunt, best science advice, and then the next thing you know, what this actually is the gay community, gay donors were specifically targeted. They were recruited, I think, for this Merck vaccine. But then, of course, when people died of AIDS and got sick, when the first cases sort of started appearing, what happened is the Red Cross turned around and said, well, promiscuous gays should not donate and blah, blah, blah. And the community took that to mean that it was something that the gay community had done wrong. Oh, no, they'd done everything right. As this John Westerland makes clear. As soon as they are asked to defer and not donate blood, he shows in this article that I've said, family team using fear tactics. If you see that, you can see that the blood stocks are depleted because the gays have stopped donating as soon as the risk, that the gay community realised that they shouldn't be donating blood. But the Red Cross knew that they shouldn't be donating blood years ago. There's people watching tonight. Thank you for saying happy birthday. There's people watching tonight from overseas, the people involved in the Infected Blood Inquiry, that know that you should never have been specifically targeting high-risk donors. At that time, particularly in the 1980s, what on earth were they doing, right? Well, guess what? It wasn't just the gay community they were targeting. Oh, no. No. It was also people in jails, people in prisons. Look at this, Greg Hunt. Best science advice. This is a scandal, the like of which you've never seen for years in Australia. People watching tonight know it is. Best science advice, Greg Hunt. Look at that. Again, if you go to infectedbloodaustralia.com to our timeline, the evidence they didn't want you to see, you'll see a cartoon. And this cartoon is actually of Pentridge Jail. You know Pentridge, the infamous jail down in Victoria? And it says, AIDS fear cuts blood donations. I'm always giving to the Red Cross blood bank. At least I know part of me is on the outside, says this crook in Pentridge, or this inmate, I should say. Now, prison inmates were exploited. And the hepatitis was rampant throughout the jails. They knew this. The Red Cross knew this. What were they doing? Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to have a sip of this beer. Thank you for staying with me as we go through this incredible evidence. And do you know what? To anyone watching tonight, I'll say this to you. Just in case you're thinking, what am I doing watching this evidence? I'll just say this. Oh, yeah? You wait. Because thank you for doing so, though. Because I'll tell you why. Because this is going to be massive, massive. They lied to us. My friends were turned down by Greg Hunt's government from help. There's people lost family, homes, everything. Entire families. We've lost a lot. We've been told there can't be any help. We got these infections through these blood transfusions. We find out that during the HIV crisis, they're advertising in gay publications. No blood bank in the world did that. You guys with the Infected Blood Inquiry, can you tell anyone? Can you tell someone here, is there anyone else, any blood bank in the world during the 1980s was advertising in gay publications or in any sexually explicit publications? Why would they do such a thing? Well, are you ready? Greg Hunt, I think you better get ready to resign, my friend. Best science advice, you terrible. How could you? We pay your wages, mate. It's unbelievable. Well, they were developing vaccines. It's what it's all been about. And, what happened was when they hit an iceberg called HIV/AIDS in 1983, they buried all of this. It's all being covered up. Instead, they changed the narrative. Okay? And they changed the narrative and said it was all a tragedy. Tragedy. An accident. Yeah, accident. Absolute accident. And if you say otherwise, you know what you are? You're a bad person. You're a bigot. You're something terrible. And they set innocent people up against innocent people. Innocent gay people infected were up against innocent haemophilia people and contaminated victims. And no one knew that they were all a concocted lie. Because it was them. They'd recklessly included high-risk donors into Australia's blood supply, the bastards. And then, guess what? After they covered that up in 1990, they came back. And this time, they started collecting from Hep C positive blood donors. That was another secret. And what was that going for? We'll send this evidence too. How come we've got so many thousands of people with Hep C as a result of contaminated blood? How come? Here we have it. From July 1990 until July 1991, some plasma testing hepatitis C positive was sent to the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories, CSL, to be segregated storage with a view to future use in the development of a new hyperimmune anti-hepatitis C immunoglobulin. So they were doing it again, using infected donors in the 90s to develop immunoglobulins, and here they are in the 80s, working with the largest pharmaceutical company in the world, developing vaccines, recruiting high-risk donors, until they hit an iceberg and messed up royally. No wonder they didn't call for an inquiry, this government. No wonder. It's them. It's actually them. They're the ones that did it. They've killed my friends. It was them. There it is. Right above a male brothel, a well-known, look it up, Triple K in Kensington. Now, again, the gay community are victims in this. They are recruited and then they're blamed. And the community's thinking, why are they donating blood if they're high risk? Because they were asked to. And the Red Cross treated them like they're the CIA and disavowed them or something. Soon as it went wrong, shit, bang, we screwed up with this vaccine development, shit! They put blood all through. Blood transfusions a lot. Hep C everywhere. Now look. Wow. That's pretty heavy. It's the first time I've opened that particular magazine. That's heavy stuff, and I had a plan to go more, but I think that might be enough tonight. All I want to say is this company, CSL, it's Australia's first $100 billion company. And I think it's the case that they had the Red Cross and others collect blood from all these high-risk donors. They're developing vaccines. There's all this stuff happening, all these other crazy things we don't know about. And they became Australia's first $100 billion company. That's right, Bryce Courtney's son, someone wrote. Very correct. Very right, died because of this. So did a lot of my mates. So did Martin Hatch, who went to my school, St Andrew's Cathedral School. That was 31 years ago. And now I'm 49. And I've been thinking about him for 30 plus years. I'm very appreciative. I remember he said, you can read online, if actually we'll post them. There's interviews where he said it was like the chapters of his lives have been ripped out. Okay? So in that way, I'm very fortunate because I'm here. And I'm here. Thank you so much for having joined me for me opening Greg Hunt's present. We are going to be sending this to lawyers internationally. They know about this as people overseas for contaminated blood victims here. They know the truth overseas. It won't be long. It won't be long before Greg Hunt goes or has to do something. But I don't know how he can stay. This is criminal. I mean, he's lied to us. I don't know that. How can I, as president of Infected Blood Australia, I couldn't sit opposite this guy. This is a lie. Best science advice. Best science advice. No one in the world collected blood from jails. Well, you British did. And look what's happening over there. They've got a massive inquiry. And they're here watching tonight. You can ask them. They're doing something about it. This man won't even talk to our victims. He doesn't even reply to letters. We've got people who've lost everything. We've got children who've lost their parents. So that was the plan. Thank you for those people who came to see me try and knock Greg Hunt with this evidence and this present. I hope I didn't disappoint you. And for those of you who would like to join me now as I relax now and take a load off and maybe try and change the mood a little bit and bring about a bit of a party, to bring about a 4th birthday party for the Infected Blood Inquiry. And wow, when that called it, you know why I was so happy? Why I said to that investigative journalist, Joanne McCarthy, why I said it was a birthday of a lifetime was because I knew when they said no to helping our haemophiliacs and helping our contaminated blood victims in 2004, I knew it was the greatest bloody outrage. And I knew when our mates died in the years after that, and I had health problems myself, mainly from, I think that a lot of it's from the disappointment of that, and also the fact that they basically labelled me a liar. We've been living under that cloud. No one believes us. A lady posted the other day, I don't blame her, she posted on Facebook. She said you should get more people out there and you should get more faces out there. We've done it. We had an inquiry in 2004 and they said there's no need to help us. Everything was best science advice. Every time we write to Greg Hunt, he doesn't reply. Or his staff send back and say, oh no, the 2004 inquiry said best science advice. Australia had the best blood supply in the world. Really? It was advertising in gay publications that spoke about the threat of HIV and hepatitis and syphilis. And you're advertising there. What the hell are you doing for blood donors? And then it talks about how you're recruiting them into vaccine development programs. Bloody Nora. I tell you, that's an English thing. They say that, isn't it? So, anyway, Greg Hunt, thousands of people ended up with viruses here. I think this changes the narrative a little bit, don't you? This thing about a virus just turned up from nowhere. Anyway, I'm 49. The Infected Blood Inquiry is 4. It's an inconvenient inquiry for CSL, the Red Cross, and maybe the Australian government and anyone else who doesn't like the truth about the world's contaminated blood scandal. That's right. Contaminated blood was global. It was global. And we've written to every politician. No one in Australia wants to help us because they're being captured by this inertia, this fear of talking about anything critical of pharmaceutical companies or critical of this company, Australia's first $100 billion company. Well, guess what? I'm going to party. I'll do that, right? You know what I'll do? It's quite dimly lit, but this is the exciting part. I'm going to introduce you to some of the characters that we have with us tonight. Oh, looky here. Look, she's already got started. See? Theresa May is not perturbed by the technical failure that we have here at the Infected Blood Australia HQ. Oh, no. Theresa May straight into the free food. And no surprise there, I have to say, being a political type. So that's Theresa. But, you know, even though some people might not like her, I appreciate the fact that she was Prime Minister and called that Infected Blood Inquiry on July the 11th, 2017, the birthday of a lifetime. That was me. Oh, geez, I was happy. I'll tell you what. And now I've just got to find the the thing in the dark now. But we're gonna party. There's going to be music. There's going to be all sorts. So here we have them. Here. Look at this. Neil Blewett. My goodness. Now, why is he at my party? This is the Labour Health Minister of the 1980s. And love a light display. Okay, yo, let's get some lights on. Jeepers, I tell you what, talk about technical issues at this party. Lockdowns happened, but Theresa May did call an inquiry. Neil Blewett didn't call an inquiry in the 1980s. He's Australia's health minister from the 1980s. He did not call an inquiry. Now, for those people in the UK, I've got some British food, some pickled onions. And I was asking a British friend, I said, look, if you're going to cater for British people, what would you have? I haven't been there for, almost 30 years. What would you have if you were going to cater for British people? And they said that basically British people live on a diet of cheese and onion crisps. And so I said, all right. So I've got cheese and onion crisps. This is my birthday. I'm getting all British. But we're also getting a bit Australian as well. We've got some beautiful VB here, and it's cold VB, okay, and can't stand the warm stuff. We've also got for Bruce over in Scotland. Yep, he blew it. Okay. Oh yeah, Neil blew it. I thought you me. I haven't blown the candles yet, but I'm going to blow something up when I blow the candles. Just you wait and see. It's not long off. Bruce Norval, I've got something for you, mate. Some brew. And we've got, now, as I introduce the guests, I'm going to put another extra light on. I'm also going to get myself another beer, because I'm getting in the mood here, in this lockdown. But I've got to say, it is pretty funny doing your 49th birthday on Instagram Live with some very generous people for coming to my party, and very patient people. Greg Hunt is not, in my opinion, people... Okay, in my opinion, Greg Hunt just got knocked spark out. Yep. What do you think? Do you think he can go on as Australia's health minister and do nothing while the world has had a response to contaminated blood? Huh? Do you think it's okay that I'm locked down with no guests here in lockdown? Well, let me tell you something. I've been locked down all my life. I'm a contaminated blood victim. I'm used to it. They took our whole lives away. They took our whole worlds away. We've lost everything. And they turn around and say, well, we can't help you because it's all best science advice. You know, $100 billion company got created out of this mess. Public servants ended up making hundreds of millions of dollars. They made a product for Australia's haemophilia community, which was like no larger than, say, 2,200. Gave 1,750 of them HIV, AIDS and Hep C and killed 1,400 of them. There's no help for families, but the people that did this or presided over the company at the time that they did this, they get to be part of the private company, and then they get indemnified after the infections in 1994 when they were writing up the terms of the sale. They indemnified them. What's that about? It's about corruption, baby. Yeah. Oh, and they've had us locked down here for decades because of it. Yeah. Party's picking up a bit now, isn't it, huh? That's right. Dropping truth bombs. John Travolta bus moves. And I'll drop truth bombs tonight. So have you got any questions? They're all going to hell. Well, they've put us in hell. I don't wish really hell on anyone. They've put us through hell, I can assure you. But what I do wish for is some bloody action right now. And you can do me a favour. If you go to infectedbloodaustralia.com and support, there's a support form there for a call for a royal commission into the CSL Red Cross blood scandal. If you could do that as a birthday present to me, I'd very much appreciate it. We need answers. We need help right now. Bloody hell, what's going on? They've indemnified for these COVID-19 vaccines as well. But you know they indemnified CSL after they killed the haemophiliacs? 1994, indemnified them. They never told us about them papers. They never said that they made the medicines out of the advertising in these gay publications during the HIV crisis. They killed all these people and said it was an unavoidable accident. What a load of rubbish. It's just rubbish. Greg Hunt. Anyway, I'm partying. Woohoo! 49 and the troops out there. Australia's deadliest medical scandal is no joke. It's no laughing matter. I deal with it every day, have done for decades. I've lost hundreds of mates, but it's my 49th party. It was no accident. We're all friends here. And now that the music's back playing, we will have a few different numbers. But now that there's a bit more light on the subject matter, which isn't just me. Oh no. No, I'm sharing the limelight tonight with the Infected Blood Inquiry that turned 4. And I knew when they called that baby, when they called that Infected Blood Inquiry, oh, woo, best science advice. Woohoo! Yeah, really? Best science advice, Greg Hunt. Best legal advice, Greg Hunt. Best legal advice. Says best science advice? Really? I don't think so, Greg Hunt. I don't think so, not anymore, not now. We're gonna have to resurrect your lies and take a closer look, Greg Hunt. That's right, I'm 49, I'm ready to party. Dropping truth bombs, Greg Hunt. Greg Hunt. CSL imported high-risk foreign blood, mixed it into their blood products, and gave it to kids and gave it to Australians. Yeah. Infected Australians en masse. And then they lied about it under oath at a 2004 inquiry. And then everyone turned around and said, well, best science advice happened and we killed loads of people. So what? Let's just make loads of money. And they went off and had their own party and left us in hell. Well, now the tables have been turned. Yeah, the tables are turned. Hey, this is pretty crazy for a president Infected Blood Australia, but no one else wanted the job. Not when I was doing it. Anyway, maybe in the future, but not back then. So, we party. We 49. Infected Blood Inquiry turns 4. Very inconvenient. Very inconvenient for the Red Cross. Now, okay, Anzac biscuits, anyone? Australian food. Here we go, Anzac biscuits. It's my birthday, so I had to have that. What else? Well, for those of you in the UK, you've just got to have a meat pie and sauce. Look at that, these are pre-sauced. Okay, I personally don't like that. People who pre-sauce pies, I think it's an imposition. But in this case, I did because I'm the only guest, so I pretty much knew the sort of sauce amounts. There you go. What do you think? Do I use too much or too little? Okay, you might like to send that in. And for the Scottish and English, we have some chocolate to... Oh, guess what? We got any Welsh viewers? G'day. Well, I've got Welsh relatives. And so to feel more at home, because the Infected Blood Inquiry, of course, covers Wales, doesn't it? And Lynn Kelly, she's the head of Haemophilia Wales, who's so instrumental in helping force this inquiry. Well, I'm a bit Welsh, so I've got some Welsh party food. What do the Welsh eat a lot of? Leeks. You know, my grandfather, he was Welsh. And you know what? He ate leeks every day. He actually did. He grew them. So it is true. They do eat a lot of leeks, or at least he did. But they also eat a lot of cockles. Does anyone know what a cockle is? I tell you what, if you don't mind, I might eat some of these cockles soon. It's my birthday. I haven't had one since the last time I was in Wales, which was 46 years ago. Yeah, I've been in Australia since I was 4, basically, off and on. Now we've got mushy peas. The other thing too, for the British people there, when I was asking what it is, you know, if I was going to cater to the British people, mushy peas, okay? Make you feel right at home. So we've got some of those. Now, also, what would Australians eat at a bit of a party, at a bit of an everyday occasion? Well, you can't go past the Tim Tam. There you go. There you go, hey? Tim Tams. Okay, well, we're going to have some Tim Tams. I might reject that from now, though, if you don't mind. I just did it for demonstration reasons. The reason I'm rejecting it is I'm having this beer. I don't like the combination flavour. Sorry, I hope that didn't make anyone sick. We've got Greg Hunt, Australia's Do Nothing Health Minister. Here he is.
Yeah, I'm Greg Hunt, and I secured a really great contract with CSL to negotiate Australia's difficult times with COVID-19. And as a result, the vaccination levels or the distribution is at about 5%, which is rather different from the UK, which is at 60% of two vaccinations. But CSL are getting there, and we're also getting billions of dollars somewhere. Someone's involved with billions. That's Greg. Who else have we got here? Ita Botros. This is Ita. Ita's the chair of the ABC. ABC is Australia's public broadcaster who have never once investigated Australia's deadliest medical scandal or the haemophilia deaths, 1,400 deaths. Who are they afraid of, huh? Afraid of their budget? Oh my goodness, guess what? Now look, just in full candour, when I was thinking about this party, woohoo, look at this, it's my party, lockdown party. Huh? When I was thinking about this party, you know, I thought, well, I was speaking to people what would I, oh, look at that, we nearly had a technical problem, there you go. So I thought, who would I invite? Well, I thought, well, you better invite the British Health Minister, right? Okay, so we invite this guy, Matt Hancock. Here he is. Matt Hancock, there he is. But then I found out that he's actually, if any British people are watching, he's apparently being sacked because he was involved in an outbreak or something. I didn't know what that was about. An outbreak? What did he do? Apparently there's an outbreak involving him. And he broke the rules and he caused an outbreak. I don't know, outbreak of stupidity, was it? What sort of outbreak was it that he caused? I'd love to know. If you can write and tell me, Matt Hancock, what outbreak did he cause? Now, here we have Mark Butler. This is Australia's Shadow Health Minister of the Labor Party, and he was written to by victims of the infected blood scandal recently, haemophilia families, Infected Blood Australia representatives, and he said even though he agrees it is an injustice, he can't do anything about it.
He can't do anything about it, that's what he said. An injustice? Child sex abuse was an injustice. And you had headmasters at school finding out that one of their staff was a pedophile harming kids, and they're thinking, oh, I better not do anything. I better not call the police because this injustice might get out. It might cause me problems. It might cause me problems for the reputation of my career or my school or whatever. What a joke. What a joke. Sorry, it's my party. I won't get too peed off. I still want to have fun. But you know what? I'm not even going to give him a slice of cake. He doesn't deserve it. Okay? Instead, he's just going to have, I don't know, something healthy. So I made a peanut butter sandwich with no butter because Mark Butler has two versions. There's Mark Butler 1.0 and there's Mark Butler, the new Svelte 2.0, having dropped all the Mars bars. So he's having a sandwich and I'm going to have a Lamington. Yep. Can't get more Aussie than that. An Aussie Lamington cake. I've got 6 of them there. Who else have I got at my party? Greg Hunt again. I'll be dealing with him later. Okay, now, here he is. Neil Blewett, the architect of Australia's contaminated blood cover-up. Did you know that in the infected blood inquiry, very soon they're about to cross-examine? I think we'll go and sit down again now with a bit of music in the background. Matt Hancock, he'll be here. I'll come and talk to him later. I think he'll need a bit of a shoulder to cry on. His career having experienced a setback. But mind you, okay, he broke his own outbreak rules or whatever you call it. I think it was the case that he went for a sandwich or something. But, Greg Hunt covers up really serious stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, that's way worse. And I think he needs to be replaced with someone who'll do the right thing by victims to something as terrible as this. I really do. How are we doing? Oh, okay, well, thank you so much for having been with me. I agree that we've had a couple of technical issues, but I think we can play another song, and we can. What will I choose on this birthday of mine? Well, I feel like after having got the Greg Hunt thing off my chest, I've got Welsh hair. Did you know that? My grandfather, he was Welsh. When I was a kid, I said to him, Grandpa, I was over in England visiting, and the English kids had all these fancy haircuts. The English, they had kids like with a wedge, like shaved parts in the back and blonde and all fancy hair. And I said, Grandpa, I got this hair. And he said, you can't do much with it, or you won't be able to do much with it, but you still have it, when you're an old man. Well, here I am, 49. Am I an old man? Well, I guess in a little bit of a way I am. The beer is a bit warm, so I better drink it. Am I 49? What do you think? Man, Hancock went for that. I saw that. Well, talking of pies, here they are. Meat, pies and sauce. Yeah, baby. Funky music. We got some sparklers. We got some special guests. What's going on with Neil Blewett, guys? Any international viewers? What's happening with Neil Blewett? Blewett. We need to talk to you, Blewett. I need to ask some questions. Why didn't you call? When he found out as health minister in the 1980s that 1,750 Australians with the bleeding disorder haemophilia had been infected by this treatment created by the Australian Red Cross and this company CSL. It had come from the UK British protocols. Why didn't he do the obvious thing? Call an investigation. But he didn't. Instead, he wrote the whole thing off as unavoidable tragedy. He didn't want it looked at no matter what. And this same guy then began the proceeding with the getting CSL ready for privatisation. Doesn't want an investigation into what happened to all these haemophiliacs, but then helps begin privatise the company that did it, and they make hundreds of millions of dollars. Sounds a bit... Well, it sounds crazy, frankly. I mean, I wouldn't believe it if someone told me. It sounds like a a Hollywood movie, doesn't it? Sounds like some public servants got off with a heist, baby. That's right, baby. Yeah, you know, with 1993, and they got together and said, you know, it won't be long before they find out, the public finds about a mass hepatitis C contamination. So what we gotta do? Rather than go to jail, let's tell a different story. Let's privatize, indemnify. Let's go to America, let's go to the world and become really rich, and let's forget it. Let's have the Australian media. Let's have the Australian media laud us every day, causing psychological torment to victims. Yeah, baby. That's right. Let's have Greg Hunt become a paid stooge. This man here. Let's have him become a paid stooge of CSL, eh? Now, you know, I was talking about knocking Greg Hunt out and I forgot something. Before I go tonight, I'm going to play something else. And it'll be the reason why the reason why Greg Hunt doesn't do anything about CSL. I think we should end on that note. It'll be a short video. But yeah. It's a heist movie. Woohoo! Everybody made a lot of money. Why did CSL get privatized in 1994? Why were they indemnified when they knew about all the hepatitis C infections? Greg Hunt, please reply to your letters from our YouTube channel. And you might see, recently I did one about a sea dragon. Crikey, Greg Hunt, more concerned about a sea dragon than he is about contaminated blood victims, or than he is by people like core participants.
This distressed me because I knew for a fact that for at least 10 years I had been receiving imported blood product. I had seen the labels on the sachets as I was being infused, labels of laboratories in Australia, labels of laboratories in America.
Right, well, so Greg Hunt, best science advice. This man in the UK inquiry saying that he was potentially sent contaminated blood from laboratories in Australia. Laboratories that collected blood from men who read sexually explicit publications during the HIV scare. You know? Crackers. There's got to be an investigation, surely. I know, you know, is it the Wild West? Honestly, I know it might be the Wild West. It's my 49th birthday, and I've just got to find this video. Here it is. Oh, yes, here he is. Right, well, I'll just spoil the mood a bit with Greg Hunt, but let's just picture Greg Hunt. He's at a gala evening. Now, why won't Greg Hunt do anything? Why won't he investigate CSL? There's been all these deaths. Why won't he do anything, right? I mean, you've just seen the evidence there, right? The international people have seen it. He won't do a thing. Let's see why he won't do anything.
I do look around and I see a lot of very dangerous men and women. People who have imagined the future and brought it to being. And that is the story of CSL, and that's the story of so many extraordinary people in this room tonight. Dr. Brian McNamee. And Brian took a small arm of government. If you'd followed Brian's lead, you'd be doing very well. But
not really. Not really. Not very well if you're a haemophiliac. You'd be doing the worst ever. No. No, you're not. Not until this is corrected. No, you're not. No one's a great entrepreneur. Australia's done some fantastic entrepreneurs. We've had a few dodgy ones too. Alan Bond, not one of the better ones, right? But no, this company's never produced anything heroic until it answers to what's happened here. Okay, now I hope I didn't spoil the mood, but Greg. So, okay, well there you go. Now, whoa! Wow, so Neil blew it, just flew. Get back here, Neil. Where were you? Neil, where were you in the 1980s? What really went on? Seriously, what went on? Why didn't he call an inquiry? Why didn't he help haemophiliacs? Why did he do exactly the same as what they did in the UK? Why is that? Why is it that he did exactly the same as what happened in the UK? Everything's the same as the UK, and yet Australians don't get helped, but the British will get helped? Could it be that Greg Hunt maybe just a little bit too close to CSL, where he cracks jokes about them being dangerous people when they're guilty of Australia's deadliest medical scandal? What on earth's going on? Woo! Seriously. And here it is. Okay, now to the party table, and guess what? I think that's the heavy stuff out of the way. I think it's time for the good stuff. All right. I think it's time for my cake. Yes, I do. And at the same time, I found it. There it is. Yeah. Okay, my cake. Right. Let's get the video right. G'day, hello. And don't forget, there's going to be some special effects. I'm also going to get a fork. Yes, I'll get a fork. So yeah, it's actually pretty special having a birthday while such an amazing inquiry is ongoing, because we'll be looking back on that inquiry for years. And so, you know, it's amazing I get to have an infected blood inquiry party. Here it is. Greg Hunt won't like the fact that the UK is about to embarrass him. Australia didn't have the safest blood supply in the world. No one did. They were doing dodgy things all over the place. Australia's blood supply was basically designed by the British. We took their specialists, we took their protocols. And justice is on the cards. Can't go on in this situation. How do I light them all without... Obviously, you can see I really haven't done too many cakes. Oh, look, my hand... Is he going to do... My hand did it. My hand was steady. Oh, look at that. There's mine, 49. Crikey, 1 year. Oh, 1 year before the big one, eh? Now, as the candles go, I just want to show you something. That's the way, da 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 da. Looky here. Whoa, just imagine a hot air balloon. It's the world's largest cake, infected blood inquiry cake, and this hot air balloon carrying
Greg Hunt and all of the great men over at the Red Cross and CSL. You've kept trapped us in hell for 30 years because you're such a great company, such a dynamic company. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's full of shit. Safest bloody blood supply. What a load of crap. You're collecting from high-risk donors knowingly. Same crap you're up to today. Collecting blood from, you know, impoverished immigrants off the Mexican border. Same crap. It's like you're vampires, but even worse, on a bigger scale. Immoral. Money grubbers. Anyway, so there's the infected blood inquiry cake, right? And you've got this CSL hot air balloon, right? Okay, well, before hot air balloon goes over, I think we might have to have a cut of the cake. Okay. Well, to everyone involved with the infected blood inquiry, thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of Australia's haemophilia community, and on behalf of contaminated blood victims and their families. Thank you so, so much to everyone involved. You've been simply marvellous. There's your heart. Thank you. And for me, well, I didn't think I'd ever get to 49. So no complaints about getting there. Hip hip hooray! I think I stuffed up the blowing of the candles, didn't I? Oh well. Woohoo! There it is. But you know what? As I blew out the candles, I forgot something. I've got to relight one of them. Let's pretend that didn't happen, shall we? Because guess what? I just wanted to have a bite of this cake. I was in such a hurry. I like cake. Orlando, are you watching? Something changes the flavour profile. You're drinking beer 1 minute, the next minute you've got cake. I don't like going back to beer after that. I like the cake. I mean, once on cake I go to tea type thing. So, very nice. Okay, so, there you go, right? Now,
So, the world's biggest cake, right? Guess what? CSL's $100 billion, first $100 billion company. It's such a wonderful company that Greg Hunt says, oh, they're just marvellous, everything's best science advice. But suddenly the infected blood inquiry comes along and says, well, hold on. What you did wasn't best science advice because you were importing high-risk blood and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And guess what? Oh, no, you're not the company. Well, we're going to get a better angle. Whoa, let's get a better angle. Come on, baby. Here we go. Let's do this. Hey! Okay, I think we have to have more candles alight for this special effects bonanza moment. Okay, let's go again. Here we go. Oh gosh, here we go. Okay. Alright, CSL. Australia's first $100 billion company. CSL. Everything it did was marvellous. Killed 1,400 people from a possible 2,000 patients, haemophilia patients. CSL sell too close to the sun, that's the truth. They were using high-risk donors in the 1980s. They were advertising in sexually explicit publications. They are going down. And that, hey, is the truth of the situation. Oh, thank you so much. That was my party. I'm every woman. Well, in a way, because I've just had some cake, and most women that I know enjoy cake. I'm very feminine in that way. I do too. I also enjoy chocolate. I really do. So, thank you so much. We've got some Anzac biscuits here, and as I said to you before, I'm in the mood now for some sweet stuff. Having had the cake, I'll... Over in the UK, if there's still someone watching, very delicious. Thank you for joining me tonight, my lockdown birthday. I really have enjoyed it. Wow, that was actually not too easy, but it was a lot of fun. But it was not too easy because you know, a difficult subject matter. I've got to eat at the same time and do disco and talk about the British Health Minister Matt Hancock, which it's not easy because being involved in COVID now. Talking about health minister or public health official can can get pretty hair-raising. I mean, the police can turn up at any moment and doors could get bashed down. So I never found out what in fact Matt Hancock had done. But if anyone would like to tell me what he'd done, be happy to hear. And also at the same time, do you think there's any chance that Greg Hunt could get caught in the same situation as Matt Hancock? Let me know your thoughts. You did a great joke. Thank you so much. Thank you for enjoying. Well, hopefully, I hope you enjoyed my birthday. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I could needed the company. And if you're in Sydney lockdown, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're in the UK, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. And hey, see you again next year. I might do this every year. A live birthday party to commemorate the infected blood inquiry and the fact that the best thing ever happened to me is the fact that it fell on my birthday. Because anyone that knows me knows that it's like the one thing that I wanted more than anything is more inquiries into this terrible thing, the merrier. So the fact that it fell on my birthday, I'll always, I'll be very thankful for. Thank you and good night. Good night. See ya.